Hi there, and welcome to the Clear Skin Essentials, and I'm your host, Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So today I want to share 3 strategies for clearing up your skin, 3 diet strategies. Pretty much you guys know that I launched a brand new website called theclearskinessentials.com a few weeks ago, and on the website I offer a free email course. And on the last day of the email course, I ask everyone, what's the number one thing that frustrates you with your skin? What's the number one thing that's kind of standing in your way from clearing up your skin? Or what's your number one challenge? And the responses have been awesome. And one thing that keeps coming up over and over again is that many of you are sharing with me that you feel overwhelmed and confused. Like there's so much information out there as to how to clear up your skin. There's so many different things you can try, different skincare products, different diets, different lifestyle things, like all sorts of stuff. And either none of it works, or it's too extreme, or it's contradictory, or it's just confusing. And a lot of times you don't know how to get started, or whatever you're trying is not working and you feel like you're just spinning your wheels and wasting time, and it's frustrating. And a lot of times you just end up wanting to give up and not doing anything. But at the same time, you want to clear up your skin. So what I want to do today is I want to share with you 3 strategies, and I want to keep them as simple as possible. And for all of you that feel just confused and overwhelmed, what I want you to do is set all the other information you have aside. And I just want you for the next 2 to 4 weeks to focus on these 3 strategies, okay? And there are 3 things that you're going to change within your diet, and to keep it as simple as possible. And the one thing I will say with these 3 strategies that I'm about to share with you is that you will see results. Okay, I know hands down that these are the 3 most important things you can do with your diet to start getting clearer skin. I know that some of you might completely clear up your skin just by following these 3 strategies. And I know that others are going to start seeing improvements. You might not clear up your acne overnight, but you will start to see improvements. And that's what we want, because I know that if you can do things that are simple and clear and kind of easy to follow, and you start seeing results, it gets a lot easier because you get the momentum going, and you get excited and you're actually starting to see something work. And then you'll be in a better position to then later try other things and to keep going with getting more and more results. So let's get started with the 3 strategies I want you to follow. And the one thing though that I just want to mention before is I want you to do your best. Okay, it's not about being perfect, but it's doing your best. And most importantly is that I want you to get started today. I don't want you to wait until the perfect moment. I don't want you to put it off. I just want you to get started today. I want you just to listen to my 3 strategies and just do it. Okay? Don't think about it. Don't put it off. Don't wait for something to happen. Just get started and do your best. That's what's most important. Okay? So the first strategy, this one is to go dairy-free. Now, if you joined my free Acne Solutions email course, you know that I've talked about dairy in the course, and I've thoroughly talked about dairy. And the reason why I'm mentioning this in these 3 strategies is because it's worth repeating. And it's definitely worth repeating over and over and over again, because I would say about 80% of acne sufferers notice a dramatic improvement in their skin once they take dairy products out of their diet. Some people are able to completely clear up their acne by just taking dairy products out of their diet. Others will see improvements. Everyone's kind of different, but the amazing thing is that 80%, which is a high amount of people, get benefits and see improvements and their skin clearing from taking dairy products out of their diet. And that just goes to show that there's some sort of connection or link between dairy products and adult acne. And if we see such a high percentage of people getting results with it, we gotta listen to that. And my suggestion is to do it for at least 2 to 4 weeks. And what's important is doing a little bit of detective work with it, especially if you eat processed food or pre-made food, or you're buying food that's already been made, okay? Because a lot of times people, when they think about dairy products, they're thinking about milk or they're thinking about cheese or maybe ice cream. But a lot of times we overlook that dairy products are used in a lot of processed food, and it's only dairy products or milk, but it's like dairy byproducts like milk proteins or powdered milk or condensed milk or like all sorts of like ingredients that are derived from dairy products, and that too could be messing up your skin. So sometimes I have someone will come to me and say, yeah, I went dairy free, but nothing happened. And then we look at like their food journal, and then we see, oh, you know, in the morning she's drinking a smoothie, and in that smoothie she's putting protein powder, and it turns out the protein powder has dairy products in it. And then in the afternoon she has a salad, and in her salad dressing, she doesn't realize, but it's got dairy products in it. And then she has her afternoon coffee and she puts creamer in it, and of course that's made out of dairy products. And then perhaps at the end of the day she's having some sort of dip in vegetables, and it turns out there's dairy products in that. And then at dinner she's cooking her meat in butter or ghee, and that too is made out of dairy products. And so it's a lot of times we think that we've taken it out, but it's kind of like hiding in ingredients or foods that we're eating. And so my suggestion is that if you're eating foods that are pre-made, processed, or bought from a grocery store or a deli or a health food store, is definitely please read the ingredients. Make sure that there's no milk byproduct in it, that there's no milk products in there. Okay, and also too is that sometimes people ask me, like, when I say dairy free, does that mean you need to go vegan? And no, I'm talking just about dairy products, cow's milk. Okay, anything that's made out of cow's milk, that's what you need to take out of your diet. But you don't need to be taking out eggs or meat or fish or any of that stuff. You know, it's just cow's milk that you need to go dairy free for 2 to 4 weeks minimum. Okay, and really be diligent. No little bit of creamer in your coffee. Really just do your best to just take it out of your diet for 2 to 4 weeks to see what happens. Okay, so number one. Number two is I want you to eliminate all foods that contain high fructose corn syrup. So high fructose corn syrup is a sweetener. And I would say out of all sweeteners, out of all sugars, high fructose corn syrup is the worst for your skin. The worst. Like, we know that adult acne is connected to hormones, it's connected to inflammation, and it's also can be connected to even bacteria. And so the thing is with sugar is that sugar and sweeteners, they contribute to inflammation. They contribute to bacteria and bacterial growth, and they also can contribute to hormone fluctuations and imbalances and issues. And so there's a direct connection between adult acne and consumption of sugars and carbohydrates. And a lot of times people get confused with this and overwhelmed, is that they hear, okay, sugar's not good for acne, it's bad, and they're like, I need to take out all carbohydrates, all sugars, all everything. And what I would say to avoid the overwhelm is let's first start with the worst one. Okay, and later on you can go back to what you're eating that's sweet and start chiseling out the other sugars and the other sweeteners and all of that. But first, to avoid feeling overwhelmed and confused, just focus on the high fructose corn syrup, because that stuff is bad and it's terrible for your skin. It's not only bad for your acne, it's also aging. It's not good, and it's contributing to a lot of inflammation within your body and disrupting your hormones and all sorts of stuff. And so we want to take out the worst one first. And so, like the dairy products, you must, if you're eating any kind of pre-made or processed food, you have to read the ingredients on those foods or ingredients that you're using. Because like dairy products, high fructose corn syrup is slipped into so many things. And it's not only slipped into the sweet stuff like desserts or candy or drinks or juice or soda, things like that, but it's also slipped into savory foods as well. And so things like yogurts, or, well, yogurt is a sweet thing, but it could be slipped into that, or it could be slipped into dips or pasta sauces and things like that. Most processed food a lot of times contains high fructose corn syrup. And even some of the foods that are sold at health food stores might contain it. And so it's really important to be on the lookout with the high fructose corn syrup and just eradicate it from your diet completely. Okay, and start with that. Don't get ahead of yourself by thinking about, what about other carbs? Or first work on getting rid of the high fructose corn syrup, because that itself is a step in the right direction. And that itself will help you to clear up your skin. Okay, definitely. And then lastly, I want you to eliminate hydrogenated oils, shortening, and pre-made foods that contain cooking oils or vegetable oils. Okay, so this is kind of a big one, and I want to kind of keep things simple. Okay, so how I see it is that when it comes down to any kind of food that you're buying that is pre-made or processed, so like any kind of food you buy at the grocery store, the health food store, or a deli or something, make sure it doesn't have hydrogenated oils, trans fats, shortening, and no vegetable oils. Okay, so when I say vegetable oils, no sunflower oil, no canola oil, no cottonseed oil, no corn oil, no soybean oil, none of that. Okay, make sure that none of these foods are cooked or made with those oils. Okay, and the reason why is that all those oils that I just mentioned, the hydrogenated oils, trans fats, shortening, and all those vegetable oils, is that they're low quality oils that have either been chemically modified to have a longer shelf life, or they've already kind of expired their shelf life and they're rancid. And a lot of times, a lot of oils that are used in pre-made food and processed food have been deodorized and kind of fixed in one way or another so that you don't smell that they're rancid, you don't smell that they're off. And unfortunately, a lot of these oils, especially vegetable oils, are very, very delicate, and they don't stay fresh for very long, and they're used in a lot of processed food, and you can't tell that they're not good ingredients to be using, and they're wreaking havoc on your body. Okay, it's a known fact that having like hydrogenated oils or shortenings or vegetable oils can contribute to a lot of inflammation in the body and disrupting the body in many different ways, because it's our bodies are pretty much not really made to be eating oils itself. Okay, and my view is that by all means eat foods that contain healthy fats, but don't be relying on oils for those healthy fats. Okay, because there's a big difference. Like a lot of times when I tell people, like, get rid of the vegetable oils in your diet, get rid of the hydrogenated oils or the shortening or things like that, then suddenly people think, oh, you must be on a fat-free diet or low-fat diet. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you gotta minimize the oils, but eat foods that have naturally occurring fats, like eggs or avocado, coconut meat, nuts and seeds, fish, meats, things like that, because those foods, then you can, your body can process and absorb and use those naturally occurring fats and benefit from them. Your body needs them. It's essential. But when it comes down to oils, the problem with it is that they've had to be extracted. They are a processed food. And the less processed food you have in your diet, the better off you are. And so my suggestion is that in general, avoid processed foods as much as possible. And when it comes down to using any kind of oils in your diet, the only oils I'd really recommend ever using when you're doing your cooking at home is try your best to be using saturated fats, which are more stable, especially when it comes down to cooking, because the main thing is that most oils are very delicate, and once they're heated, they start sort of changing in structure, and some of them, they start burning under the high heat, and that becomes sort of carcinogenic. It's not good for you to have anything that's burning under high heat. And so if you're having, like, let's say an oil like coconut oil, which is a saturated fat, or animal fats, which is also a saturated fat, it's a stronger oil, and so it doesn't burn or start smoking under high heat, and therefore it's safer to be cooking with them. And so that's the direction I would go in, is using things like coconut oil or animal fats, or even avocado oil could be a good oil to use, and some olive oils. Not all olive oil is pure. Okay, so you have to make sure when you're buying olive oil to definitely, again, read the label, make sure it's not mixed with vegetable oils, and make sure you're getting it from a good source. But in general, when it comes down to eating healthy fats, which healthy fats are extremely, extremely important for your skin and for your overall health, for your hormones, everything, you have to, I would say best is to be getting it from your food, where it's naturally occurring, that it's not like an oil that has been extracted from your food, but it's already there in your food, you know? So it's eating a diet that is rich with fresh foods that already contain fats. That's the best fats to be getting for your health and for your skin. But keeping oils to a minimum, and especially cooking oils, especially oils that are used in pre-made foods, because those are usually, the oils that are used in pre-made foods are usually the lowest quality oils, and those are usually the ones that are causing the most problems for your skin. And the one thing that I can say I've seen with so many people that have really been sort of diligent about keeping sort of the cooked or the low quality oils out of their diet or to the minimum, is they notice massive improvements in their skin. And it's not only with breakouts on your face or acne on your face, but it could also be acne on your chest or on your back as well, that also can be completely eliminated just by removing vegetable oils and cooked oils from the diet, you know, and keeping them to a minimum. That when you are using any kind of oils for cooking, use saturated fats, like using animal fats or using coconut oil or perhaps avocado oil, something like that, something that's a little bit stronger under high heat. And I find that's the best direction to go in. Okay, so these are my 3 strategies to get started with. Okay, is first getting rid of the dairy products, second getting rid of the high fructose corn syrup, and third is keeping cooking oils or cooking oils to a minimum. You know, if you follow these 3 things, you will definitely start to see improvements in your skin. And if you can do this for a good 2 to 4 weeks consistently and doing your best, you'll definitely see big changes. Okay, so this is what to get started with, and keep it simple. Don't overthink things, nothing. And I find in general, you know, just one little tip is that the more that you're preparing your own food and cooking at home and making your stuff at home and knowing what ingredients you're using and using quality ingredients, the better. Usually the problem with a lot of these foods that I was mentioning today is that they're all in processed foods, and that's where the hidden ingredients are that's messing up your skin. And so sometimes just making that switch of making more homemade food can make a huge difference in your skin. All right, so I'm wishing everyone a fabulous day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.